Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to the weekly live stream. Can I get a quick heads up from people as to whether or not this music is too loud? Because I changed the speaker configuration. Until we can stream music directly through the computer, which is coming. Any words? What's up, Adam? What's up, Movement? There's someone who just has the name Movement. Mark, hello. Cool, great. So let me do the typical stuff. Oh, Movement, are you leaving? What's up, Colin? Hello, Bird Girlfriend. Jack Clacks. Someone said, "Oh, it's Zam Barrett's newest muse." Yeah, I might be. I might be modeling for Zam Barrett's lookbook at some point in the future, which would be pretty cool. Let me get this chat popped out, and let me just share this real quick. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. Gonna try to get a few more people in here. What? How do I post this? What is going on? There we go. Post. And post. Cool. Let me just get this chat popped out real quick. All right. Pop out chat. There we go. Blammo, we did it. We in this. What's up, Dell in Australia? Everyone might notice this beautiful bouquet of flowers. This was something I was using for the I'm gonna turn that down just a smidge. It may not be too loud for you guys, it is slightly too loud for me. So this bouquet of flowers was being used as part of the Alexander McQueen tribute video that I filmed today, and I am getting every penny's worth of value out of this. So it's now going to be the background for this live stream as well. Oh, what's up, Lucas? And you are popping in from an Oscar commercial break. You should just stay the entire time. Award shows are not great. You know what's really great? Live streams. What's up, Arturo? What's up, Donna? What's up, Eve? Hello, Eric. Hello. Okay, so the topic that was given to me during the week from everybody who is of the $9 or over tier on Patreon gets to submit topics for the live stream, and it seems like the general theme of what everybody submitted has to do with talking about things that are ugly or things that they hate about fashion in general, and that's what we're gonna talk about. We are gonna talk about things in fashion that we hate, things that are like truly ugly, talk about like what ugliness actually is in fashion, and a lot of that I would like to come from you all. So the way that this is going to be set up is we're going to have everybody. Colin is trying to say something. Also, Dolce & Gabbana. and yeah, he wants to hone in on D&G specifically and how they're bad. Terrible people, clothes are bad. Okay, so I to explain a little bit of my philosophy around all of this is that I have a really hard time as of lately kind of fully coming to grips with being like, this is ugly and bad. I honestly, this is like not a very satisfying answer for people who are like, let's like really dig in and hate on stuff, but I have a really difficult time seeing art in a like, this is good, this is bad kind of way. I tend to just kind of inevitably look at stuff from a very objective standpoint. So I figure a really fun way of doing this is for us to argue about what is good and bad in fashion, where you all can just like release full-fledged release the hate. I will read your hateful, seething comments aloud, and I will try to do it in a very hateful voice. And then I, Bliss Foster the person, will respond to that and either agree or disagree with you. And fair warning, I'm probably going to disagree with you. So, what's up, Dion? What's up, Cream? Also, an added, what's up, RLRLXG? Hello. He just asked what books are up on the shelf over there. A lot of different books. The ones that are in view of you are the one with all the panels that looks like a series of pictures on the spine. That's House of Leaves, which is my favorite book of all time. But before we get started, I can already see people like kind of submitting things that they hate. I think that Super Chat is enabled, which is a way for like YouTube streamers to like get some kind of income from it. I don't know if this is like an effective way of doing income things, but if anybody is already familiar with Super Chat, I would be grateful if you could test it to show me like what this actually does. So like dropping like a buck or two into, or a pound or two, depending on your location and whether or not you are irresponsibly staying up until 3 in the morning. Just like dropping a couple bucks in there to see if that actually works. Hello, Chelsea. You are not late. No, you're not. Cool. So we're going to begin. Let's go. So tell me things that you hate, and let's not make this just like Eric already said, I hate Off-White. Let's go a little bit deeper than that. Let's say let's give you some time here for you to like type out like a full like, I hate this thing, it's so stupid, blah blah blah. While we're waiting for that to be typed out. Oh, and by the way, I do promise that I will not be like 10 minutes behind on the chat universally. I will try my best to not get like way behind like I did last week, which was hilarious. Like people were like, I'm posting this comment, Bliss will see it in 12 minutes. That was very funny, but I'm gonna try not to do that to you guys. Also, while we are live, the goal this week is to get 3 new Patreon subscribers. That is patreon.com/BlissFoster. We need 3 new subscribers in the hour that we're gonna be streaming here. So, while everybody is typing out specific things that they really, really hate about fashion or style, or just like the clothes that people wear or anything, I'm gonna tell you a quick story that amuses me to no end. So I have a really good friend named Sharif Mosby who runs a kind of higher end streetwear brand out of Richmond, Virginia. And he was hosting a party at this art space that he built by hand, which is crazy. He's like super good at transforming spaces and like making those, he turned a basement into like this just really gorgeous like event space thing, which is wild to me. There was this big party that was being thrown, and there was this one guy that nobody knew who was being belligerently drunk. He was like walking around and doing like the kind of like swerving thing, kind of drunk. He was very, very deep in the sauce. And at one point, a TV crew was there, and they like had like full setup, like fully like mounted Steadicam, full size camera thing, and they were doing like a microphoned interview with him about the space and about like the art thing that he was doing. And at one point, while he was speaking, and he's kind of a soft-spoken person, so it was like very, very calm in that part of the party. It was very, very calm. It was away from the music and stuff. This very belligerently drunk guy walks over and like kind of like leans on him a little bit, and he like stops in the middle of his sentence and is like, "Whoa, hey man, what's up?" And the guy like composes himself as much as someone who is that deeply drunk can compose themselves, and goes, "Fuck fashion," and like looks at the camera with just this like searing hatred, and he was like, "Fuck fashion," and then wandered away. And then later that night started a fight with like him and me and like all of our friends. And I don't know if you've ever seen a super belligerently drunk person try to fight. It did not go super well for him. He got, I mean, at first it was just sort of like a stop it, and like pushed him away and kind of pushed him on the ground. Larger guy in our group pushed him on the ground. And then he like ran away. And then he like came like careening back down the street, said "fuck fashion" again very loudly, and like came up and attempted to like stop himself and start fighting at the same time. And someone else in our group who was not belligerently drunk just like like pushed him back again and was like, "Dude, you need to leave." And he was like, "No." And then attempted to sort of like swing back at somebody, and somebody just kind of like ground pounded him and knocked him on the ground. And then we gave him an opportunity to get up and to run away. So that was an example of someone who hates all of fashion, at least when he's belligerently drunk. All right, so let's dig into this a little bit. Franklin de Stelswijk, my guy, what's up, dude? Said, "What I hate most is probably the blatant classism in luxury retail. If you don't have a certain upper class look. Okay, so if you don't have a certain upper class look, you'll be ignored by sales staff in favor of richer customers." That is probably legitimate, yeah. Though, I used to work at Helmet Lang, and I will say that, like, you got to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because if they're smart, if they are someone who's, if they're a salesperson who's not an idiot, like if they're on commission, like real, like commission's a heavy part of how they make their money, they are being told by somebody, like, it's impossible to guess, like, who is going to be, like, spending money and who's not going to be spending money. At Helmet Lang, like, there was almost no consistency to, like, oh, like, if the person is dressed like this, then they're going to be like, like, if someone's just being mean, especially, like, in New York, especially if someone is being a shitty sales clerk, that probably just means that they have a shitty attitude. Just like in general. So, yeah. I mean, that is shitty. I think that problem was much worse, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago than it is now. And hey, Franklin, I mean, I know that you have a pretty poppin' wardrobe, and that you can at least afford a little bit of designer clothing. So, yeah, you can kind of do like the Pretty Woman thing, to make a reference to a 40-year-old movie there. Where you can just like come back and like be like, oh, the people at Dover Street Market were super shitty, and so I'm gonna go to Totokayo and then like swing back by Dover Street Market with my Totokayo bag and be like, big mistake, pal. Yeah, okay, cool. So that was Franklin. Titanium Expose. That's the username. Titanium Expose. Said, "I hate Supreme. Their shirts are just basic stuff. They're selling trash at a high price." Okay, wait. So I disagree with that, because their t-shirts, I think, still cost, what, $35 or $40? And I think that's like how much t-shirts at Zoomies cost. So I'm not sure where the resale of Supreme, that's one thing that you can kind of hate on. But I don't think I understand that criticism, because their t-shirts for sure are not expensive, and even like the hoodies and stuff, like they cost the same at retail as like mall brand hoodies do for the most part. Maybe slightly more expensive. Now, if they do like a collaboration with like Shot, like the jacket company Shot, the jackets that they make are going to be at the same price range, or perhaps a little bit more expensive than just a Shot jacket would at retail. But for the most part, their stuff is, I don't know, I think fairly well priced. Cream Third Teen said, "Oh, I hate the logical standpoint in designing collections instead of just saying, I just designed something that I thought was cool." That's probably a legitimate thing. Yeah, I mean, a lot of brands subscribe to a what's it called? It's a trend forecasting network called WGSN that is extremely expensive to subscribe to. It's like $10,000 a month. But what this does is it gives you super detailed insights into what customers are going to be buying over the next 2 years. So like when they release the report, it's like if they released it right now, it's like this is the way that buyer trends are going to go until February of 2022. And usually they're pretty dead on accurate. And that report from WGSN dictates for sure everything that you're seeing from mall brands. And unfortunately, there are some designer brands that also kind of are servants to this subscription. And yeah, actually, I'll agree with you on that. I do not like also that brands don't just hire someone and then trust them to come up with dope shit. They kind of hold them to, like, you have to create stuff that's going to generate this kind of revenue, and also if you want to create that kind of revenue, this is how you have to do it. That seems dumb and counterintuitive. And honestly, if that's what you have to resort to, is anyone doing what they like wanted to do within fashion? Like, if you're like purely a finance person, like, go fucking work in another industry. Like, if you're not there a little bit to see like art get elevated and to see like people making incredible stuff, you're probably just in the wrong industry, and you would make a ton more money if you just went to banking or real estate or something. Like, this is probably not the industry for you. And if you're a creative person and you are like succumbing to that, that seems extremely dumb. No part of this is doing what you want to do. Arceus Theo? Hello, Arceus Theo. I dislike Vetmall. Okay. I dislike Vetmall for selling overexpensive clothes, even when the durability and quality of their clothes are the same as fast fashion brands. The durability and quality of their clothes. I don't think that's the point of Vetmall. I don't think quality and durability are the ideals that they're going for. So I disagree with you, Arceus Theo. Go live with me right now. No, I don't even think there's an option to do that, is there? Where like somebody could like, I could like, like try to, I'm gonna ruin your life. Take you live with me right now. Drop a pin, Arceus. No, I don't think that's what they're going for. I think that they're a brand that focuses on like humor in fashion and creating like sort of a fun little twist on things that has like this humorous side to it. I don't really think that quality and durability are the point. Oscar said, similar to Franklin, I have an immense dislike for the pyramid hierarchical structure that the aesthetics of fashion create. Irrespective of any amount of knowledge, one is locked out for the face of things. Yeah, okay. Yes, I would say to that specific comment that I don't think we're in as much of a hierarchy as we used to be. I mean, right now, honestly, somebody could walk into, somebody like, what's his name? Chris Chris Black, the infamous influencer Chris Black, I mean, like, unless he's wearing like one of his Tom Brown suits or something, most of the time he does not look like somebody who's super rich. He sort of like behaves like somebody who has access to a lot of money, but like he does not dress in a way that's impressive at all. He looks good most of the time. He dresses in a very like approachable kind of, sort of like an advanced normcore thing, I guess, kind of. I hope Chris never hears this because this would probably make him very mad, this description. But like he is a person who is likely to walk into a place and he might, if he really loves it, he might buy a coat for $2,000. But I don't think that he really looks like that. So again, like if any sales clerk is actually like living their professional life by this creed of like, when you come in, I have to see some kind of like awesome brand, or you have to be wearing like a suit or something. Like, I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to get a whole lot done as far as your commission's concerned like that. So, there. Come at me. I disagree with you. As a reminder, now that we have like a lot more people in here, hi everyone. Go support me on Patreon. We're trying to get 3 new patrons by the end of this live stream. 3 more. We started with a goal of 3, we're still at 3. Patreon.com/BlissFoster. Somebody set a good example and go sign up right now, please. Chelsea said, I hate how people disregard Vetements as a parody brand when there is really much more to it, especially the tailoring. And Demna displays his childhood struggles and the roots through his clothes. That's true. I don't know. I don't think necessarily there's anything wrong with calling them a parody brand though, because a lot of what they're doing is parody. They're doing a lot of parody stuff, and they're doing a lot of like taking things from real life. Like my favorite thing from them ever is the sticker shirt, which is just like a regular, I think it's like a drill, or it's like a heavy cotton twill shirt that is just a regular button-up shirt, but it's like covered in all of these stickers from like different things, like the way that if there's like a kid in the back seat and their parents are just like, just do whatever, man, they'll stick like a bunch of stickers to the window, and it's just like a mess, and it clearly is just like a small child being like, I love stickers, and it's just a mess, and there's no cohesion and there's no organization to it at all. So they did that to a shirt, and they like found some way, it's not just like printed on there, they found some way to make it sort of look like there are just a bunch of stickers stuck to it in that same like just totally hodgepodge, some of them are half ripped, like total like hodgepodge mess kind of thing. So some of it I do think is parody, and then some of it's just taking things that are like these weird inspirations from parts of life that never ever get referenced by a serious fashion house, and they take those things and they turn them into like the work of a serious fashion house. So, but yeah, I do think people write them off really easily because Vetements was worn. This is where I agree with you, Chelsea. Vetements was worn by like the Hypebeast set for a little bit, where people were just kind of like, I'm gonna wear like all this like crazy stuff, and get like the fucking asshole hoodie and the like, may the bridges I burned light the way hoodie and stuff, and then they posted them on their Instagram and were like, look at me, I'm so poppin', I own a hoodie that cost $800. And then after they were no longer the flavor of the week, everybody sort of just kind of kicked them to the curb and just assumed that they were still like desperately trying to chase after those like Hypebeast customers, which I don't think they were, and I don't think ever really that was their like intended purpose in the first place. So I don't know. Yeah, I do think that people disregard Vetements a little too easily. Bird Girlfriend said, I don't know anything about Zegna or his clothes, but I absolutely hate his name. Well, he makes suits. I don't know if I can defend that very much. They had a creative director at one point. I can't remember his name. Zegna is no longer the person designing. I don't even know if he's still alive. But they had a young, cool creative director for a little bit who made something called the Broken Suit. And that was so cool. It was like regular like formal wear suit stuff, but like the jacket would be like asymmetrical, and it wasn't like full on like avant-garde stuff. It was the kind of thing, his goal for it, what he said his stated goal for it was that he wanted to make something that was not a suit, and that like maybe hanging on like store shelves it would, or on a hanger in a store, it would look like, oh, I can't wear that, I'm an attorney, like I need to look more professional than that. But that if you did have a meeting with an attorney and they sat down wearing one of these suits, that you might not ever say like, this person doesn't look professional enough. So it still achieves those like those check marks of looking professional and clean cut and put together and very masculine, but it does so in ways that are super weird and like are very unorthodox. So that was a cool thing that Zhang Yi did. Other than that, I have no idea. I think he just makes high quality suits. So I agree with you. I'll say I agree with you on that one. All right, who gets the hate cannon next? Okay, so Donna K said, I hate when people start a brand without having any knowledge of craftsmanship and try to slide on mediocre design concepts. I also hate that. Fuck those people. What's up? Kane Ireland in the cut. Kane is gonna run home so he can actually listen to this live stream. That's very impressive. Arturo, my boy Arturo said, I am not a fan of Jacquemus. Their clothes objectively look good, but they seem to only be making clothes that are established and trendy. Not bad, but not worth all the attention they are getting. I disagree with you, Arturo. I think that Jacquemus is one of the brands that is actually leading these trends. So like, there is the way that I was earlier talking about the trend forecasting network, WGSN, and that they kind of predict how people are going to buy things and what's going to make them want to buy things over the next 2 years. So they retrieve information and build these reports based on two things. One of them is street style stuff. That's where very cool people, like everybody who works for WGSN is a like certifiably cool person. And so a big part of what they do is they send people out into the street of major cities around the world, and they just take a shit ton of pictures of what people are wearing. And so that kind of helps them to establish what like cool people are wearing all over the world. And so they're able to kind of predict trends based on kind of the trend setter group of people. So they go through these tens of thousands of pictures of all these different people, and they sort of try to identify like, who are the people that seem to be just like slightly ahead of what's going on? How does that, and then like among those, like, you know, they take 10,000 pictures, they might keep 200 of them and be like, okay, so of these 200 photos, what is the shift from where we're at right now, which we can establish pretty easily, like where are we at right now with fashion? What is everyone wanting to buy right now? What twist have these people, these 200 cool people, put on that established thing right now that makes it where they are ahead a little bit? So that's the first way that they are able to extrapolate trend. The second one is runway. They just look at runway shows and they try to identify universal trends, and then they pick it out from there. I think that Jacquemus is one of these brands that they are going to identify, like, this is what's going to be happening at H&M now. So I don't know. I guess, like, I don't know. I think from like Jacquemus, the hunk Jacquemus himself, he would be like, I make things that are beautiful enough that H&M rips them off before I can even put them in stores. Fuck me, right? So it's like, I don't know. It's one of those things where his goal is to make beautiful clothes, like these very beautiful, like ideal, like rich, beautiful girl clothes. And so that and I think he just does that really well, and to the point where he makes it where everybody wants to copy him. So I disagree with you on that one. I'm sorry, Arturo. You're still my boy. A lot of talk about Supreme in the chat. Someone said the Alexander, this is the Out Tour. Out Tour said, the Alexander McQueen sneakers that all the people are wearing now have no clue who Alexander was. I disagree with that. I think that for us who are in this bubble of like heavy fashion research and stuff, like, yeah, we might know like what like our favorite show by Alexander McQueen was and like what our favorite look from Alexander McQueen was, but I think most people understand the basics of who Alexander McQueen was. And that basic story, the story of a kid who grew up in a dirt poor family in London who had absolutely nothing, and then turns out he was an incredible tailor, and he went to art school and got his degree and was making collections that were made out of like trash and cast off fabric. And then he like was so fucking good at it that he got hired to all these big houses to like, or hired to this big house to make all these like beautiful like luxurious clothes, and that his brand was this like self-starter bootstrap kind of thing with the help of a lot of funders and like people's money. And he was such a miserable person that was so like clear in his clothes and his collections. It was like the story of his like tortured inner self, and then his mother passed and he took his own life. That is, I think, to most people, that is such a compelling story. The basics of that story are so compelling. Rich kid gets, or no, not rich kid, poor kid gets rich and famous, making beautiful art, and he's still so unhappy and takes his own life at a young age. That is a tale as old as time, and that tale is something that for some reason people find to be very, very compelling. And I think that if you ask people like, do you even know who Alexander McQueen was? I think that most people wouldn't just be like, I don't know, it's just a brand, I don't care, the shoes are expensive. Like, I think they would at least have something to say about like, yeah, like everybody in London knows who Alexander McQueen is. Or like someone would say like, yeah, like my daughter goes to art school and she was showing me all these beautiful dresses by this guy who like took his life when he was 30, and I thought all the stuff that she showed me was really haunting and beautiful, and you know, I needed some sneakers and I did like these, so and I don't know. That's a little gatekeepy for me. It's a little gatekeepy. And people honestly don't need to have to know about the biography of somebody in order to enjoy the design, in my opinion. People can know absolutely nothing about something and then go get it. What? Is that it? No more hate comments? What, guys? Oh, so Kane, we're talking about things that you hate in fashion. Like, bring on your like most hated, like, fuck this thing kind of thing. That's what we're talking about. No general questions at the moment. And I know that Kane has some very intense opinions about things. So I want Kane, don't hold back. Like, write me a paragraph. Take your time. It's all good. Write me a paragraph of seething anger, and I'll either agree or disagree with you. That's the game we're playing right now. And also, for anyone who is wondering, Key Lime La Croix sucks. It's awful, but I bought an 8-pack of it, and I'm kind of forcing myself to soldier through it. Not good. Not good. It's like peach pear. You sip it and you go, no. Oh, Samuel Elric said, what's up, Sam? I didn't even realize you were in here. I hate when brands don't grow and expand on the concept that got them popular and instead cling to whatever gets them hype. Or whatever got them hype? Oh, okay, wait, no, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. I hate when brands don't grow or expand on the concept that got them popular and instead cling to whatever got them hype. Yes, true. I think that that's true. Wouldn't it be weird though, like if you were a designer and you started a collection and you started a brand and you put out a collection and then after like 3 collections it sort of occurs to you that it's like, oh man, I don't think I really have much else to say. Oh. I do have like small variations on the things that I've already done though. I guess I'll do that because I don't really have another job. That would be a really weird situation to be in. I'm not I consider analysis to be a creative pursuit, but like I'm not a artist, like I make art kind of artist. And so I don't really know what that process is like, but I always imagined it would be so weird and like sort of funny to be like, oh man, I've got this art that's got to come out of me. I got to make this art. Oh man, I got to do it. I'm going to go crazy if I don't get my art out. And you get your art out and you're like, oh, I had 3 paintings inside of me. That's it. And that was just kind of it. Okay, so a lot of things just came through. So yeah, ultimately, Samuel, I do agree with you on that one. Oh, here we go. Concrete Crescendo, hello, said, one thing I hate at the moment is that I don't know if people who are trend-driven and hype-driven are part of... Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so I read it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm reading things off the top of my head. Usually when I'm reading things, it's for the channel and I can edit it. I'm sorry. One thing I hate at the moment is that I don't know if people who are trend-driven and hype-driven who are part of the fashion scene are helping it or hurting it. Guess what? They're helping it. If a designer releases a collection and there's one item from that collection that is just like super hot fire and everybody wants it and like Gigi Hadid wears it and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I have to buy that, then that's giving money. I mean, like ultimately it's like this for everything. The hype pieces, the blockbuster movies, Transformers 3 is the reason that the Coen brothers get to make their next movie. Because, guys, the Coen brothers movie is not going to make very much money in theaters. The like cool art house thing that like Warner Brothers is going to put out, the like movie that's going to like, you know, maybe if it wins an Oscar it'll like make a bunch of money, but like the movie that's going to like be like, wow, what a like thought-provoking and like artistic and like cool and challenging movie. Those movies don't make a lot of money. Like the things that make a lot of money are Transformers 3. And Transformers 3 is awful and I like never saw it and I never plan to see it, but like, sorry, the hype pieces, the hype shoes, like the like super like whack t-shirt that like everybody wants to get, the belts, the like luxury designer socks, those things are fueling, the Converse with the little hearts on them, those things are fueling the art that this channel is all about. So unfortunately, until like the mundanes catch on and want to buy like weirder stuff, this is kind of the world that we're stuck in. If we want to stick around, don't hate on people too hard. Don't leave too mean of an Instagram comment on that Hypebeast Influencers Instagram account, because ultimately those people buying those things, buying those hype items, that is what is fueling the rest of the system. Patreon.com/BlissFoster. We are still waiting at 3 patrons needed. I will be personally hurt if you guys do not support me on Patreon. Just kidding. I can't control what you do, and I'm at peace with that. Oh, one thing that I hate about fashion is the snobby views. It really is one of the hardest industries to get into. People pick you apart, and most people in it are cliquey. I agree with that. I don't know, guys. Fashion might be, I think the perception for this is a little bit warped because, I mean, like, speaking as someone who wanted to become a stylist really badly, that's something I pursued for years, was I want to be a stylist. Guys, stylists don't make any money. Like, there are a few people who go shopping professionally for celebrities and for very, very wealthy clients. And those people make a decent living at it. There are like celebrity stylists, like in that they themselves are a celebrity, and these are people like Tan France on Queer Eye, and like people who are like the like wardrobe guy from some TV show about redoing ladies' lives or something. Like there are some people who make, I guess, a little bit of a living, but guys, there are people who like are stylists for Vogue who don't make any money. Like they're not a staffed member of Vogue, but like there are tons of people who style shoots for Vogue all the time, and there's no payment that's ever given to them, and that there's an understanding that they're not going to get any payment. So fashion has a lot of jobs in it that are not jobs in that they don't really make any money, but people still want to do them. They're things that just about no one is willing to pay any money for, but they're jobs that people really want to do because they seem cool. And modeling is another thing like that. Like, guys, it is hard as fuck to make a serious salaried living, not even salaried, like to make enough money to live just on being a model. That is hard as fuck. But tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of people want to do it. So I think there's a little bit of a disconnect here, because I think a lot of people are like, if they, and I mean, no hate, like I spent years trying to be a stylist. I wanted to be a model at one point. Like I get it. I understand the desire to want to do those things, but I think that sometimes it can be a little bit difficult because it's like, oh my gosh, all I want to do is be a stylist. All I want to do is be a model. Why is it so hard to do this? Why is it so hard for me to break into the industry? It's hard to break into the industry because you are pursuing a career that almost no one is being paid for. That is the honest, kind of difficult to hear truth. So, among the jobs that are actual jobs, like merchandiser, finance officer, among those jobs, I think it's basically as hard to break into fashion as it is to any other line of work. Maybe like 5% harder to break into fashion because it is a little bit cliquey. But guys, to be honest, there's nepotism and like clickiness in every industry that has ever existed for all of time. Unless you are in something extremely specialized. I'm sorry, guys, there's people who get hired to be surgeons because it's like, well, this is my grandson. He just started as a surgeon also, so I'd like you to take a look at him and see if we can get him on at the hospital too. Okay, great. You're a great surgeon. I'm sure your grandson will be fine. And they go and they get the grandson. That's super fucked up, but like, that happens everywhere. So yeah. So there's that. I hope no one feels like this is me just like shitting on your ideas. But this is kind of a little, for me at least, this is a fun format for like engaging with some discussion here. So thank you for your comment out, Tour. Thank you. Real quick, this isn't a hate thing, but Batu said, opinion on the Balenciaga Tyrex sneakers. I think they look awful. I disagree. I think they look great. I think those sneakers look so cool. I love them a lot. I actually really want a pair. I'm probably not going to buy a pair because I don't really drop $1,000 on sneakers, but if anybody here works at Balenciaga and we want to send me a pair of anything but the black ones, I'd love them. Finn Doug said, I really dislike Tishi's Burberry. Completely lost all identity and feels like a confused mess of uncomfortably explored British street culture meets fairy safe tailoring pieces. Ricardo, I love you so much. You are a big part of why I got into fashion. Your work at Givenchy was inspiring to me. But fuck damn it, I do not understand your work at Burberry. I think I gotta agree with you, Finn. This is like one of the only like houses where like I'll open up a runway show and just be like, what? What? What is this? What? I don't know. Maybe it's selling well. I used to talk a bunch with a guy who works at corporate for Burberry. I should talk to him and see if sales are doing okay. But I don't get it, man. At least the runway stuff, I really don't get it. What's up? All right, Tor Erickson. Hello, thank you for joining the Patreon. That is 1 down, 2 to go. Patreon.com/BlissFoster. And Tor is a fucking G because Tor signed up for the $9 a month tier, which I will say, I know that like everybody when they hear that is like, $9, that's a lot of money. Listen to me. Sit down and listen. I work so much on this channel and I put a lot of effort into this shit. And there is nobody else. I don't want to brag, but I'm going to. There is no one else in the entire world. I mean, these live streams, these are pretty goofy and like just like fun time and like silliness. But for the actual like episodes, I cannot find anybody else in the entire world who is doing this kind of stuff. That was part of why I started the channel. $9 a month. How much do you spend on clothes a month? Take $9 away from your John's budget and put it towards Bliss, your friend, your actual real life friend, your real friend who texts you back after he kisses you at parties. Come on. $9 a month. Tor, you're a fucking G. Let's move on. All right. Colin Rice said, the reason that I hate Dolce & Gabbana, apart from the designers themselves, which is a whole other can of worms, is because it's just so gaudy and ugly. Colin, I would challenge you to explain to me what ugliness is. Because to be frank, especially in the menswear market right now, gaudy is in, my man. Gaudy is where the money's at. And to be frank, I like things with a lot of like crazy loud details. I don't know. I like that. Can I show you something that like I like saw the other day and was like, oh my gosh, I have to really like find a way to use that. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna run to my bathroom real quick to get the thing that I was just talking about. BRB. Don't go anywhere. 53 people in the chat right now. If you leave, I'm coming after you. I can see when you leave. Okay, 54 people in the chat. Somebody joined. What's up? Hello, new person. Okay, this is something that Lindsay bought a while ago, and I was like, damn, clip-on earring. I actually need to find a way to use that. Can't find the other one, and I don't think I want the other one, but like, I kind of like how that looks. Gaudy is in right now, Colin, and also I challenge you to tell me, what does ugly mean? What is ugly? What makes something ugly? This really doesn't go with what I'm wearing right now, so I'm gonna take it off. But yeah, I really like that. I like how that looks. It's a cool one. And I also really like that it's missing one of its gem things right there. I think that's cool as hell. What's up, Finn Doug? Hello, Finn. Joined on Patreon. Hello, thank you. That is 2 down, 1 to go. Patreon.com/BlissFoster. I wish I could include a link somewhere, but it's okay. You don't need a clickable link. You can just type in patreon.com/BlissFoster. Do you know how to spell Patreon? P-A-T-E-O-N. Oh, patreon.com/BlissFoster, which is my name. Let's move on. Colin, defend yourself. Defend yourself, you coward. What does ugly mean? Mari said, what's up, Mari? I didn't even know you were in here. I dislike how poorly invested New York Fashion Week is in young designers. I understand that it's a business thing, but lots of talent gets overlooked because of it. I agree. And you know what? I've talked about this before. I think I might have talked about it on a live chat. But I know I can do it. I know how to solve the problem with New York Fashion Week. Designers get even the slightest bit of attention, even a little bit of attention at New York Fashion Week, and immediately they move to Paris and they start showing at Paris Fashion Week. Same thing with London. Right now, London is experiencing a huge exodus of designers, and there's really not a lot of like hot, fresh talent there. So maybe London could do this also. New York Fashion Week needs to become the new home of young, crazy talent. New York needs to become the home of avant-garde. That is the only way that I think that New York Fashion Week can redeem itself. Because right now, London is the one that has this, like, it has its, like, ear to the ground as far as, like, oh, this is, like, where, like, the really, like, bold and, like, new, like, fresh and cool designers are coming out. These, like, cool young kids or whatever. So London has that market covered. New York Fashion Week can regain its name for itself by rebranding itself as the home of avant-garde. This is like, are you a really, like, do you have some wild fucking ideas? Go to New York Fashion Week, and they need to lower the price of entry. That's got to be part of it. Because if they lower the price of entry, that's going to make it where there's a huge pool of designers, and there has to be some kind of committee of approval or whatever, because you can't show 200 people at New York Fashion Week. You got to have some kind of like way of screening them for quality, I guess, is the only real possibility. But and not like examining the collections before they put them out on the runway or whatever, but like you gotta, I think that making it like the home of avant-garde, that's the only real way to make this thing good again. So yeah, Mari, I do agree with you on that one. Arturo said, I hate when people hate on people. I hate it when people hate on people for buying popular fashion items. There's a reason why they are popular, and it's okay to not be absolutely unique all the time. I do agree with this. And also, I think that largely we have in our little community here, we have a very warped perception of what is a hype item and what is not. I mean, 95% of the things that we consider to be a hype item, if we were wearing it around where we live, no one recognizes that thing. Like, no one knows what that is. It's because we are all so like locked in on Instagram, and we know what everybody else is buying and like what things like Bloody Osiris wore this week or whatever. That is the only reason. Most people that you are around, it's having the intended effect of like, wow, what a crazy sweater. Yeah, that's my opinion. The tip of my nose itches so badly. I promise I'm not like doing coke. I don't know what is causing this. The tip of my nose is extremely itchy, so I'm probably going to continue to scratch the edge of my nose throughout this live stream. I'm very sorry if that upsets you. Jeez, my fucking thing just like jumped down a whole bunch. Oh damn, I've gotten 10 minutes behind again. No. Oh, it's happened. I'm so sorry. Mark said, okay, here's a fashion thing I hate. Luxury brands exploiting EU's loose labeling laws to produce goods in low-wage countries with token finishing steps so they can call it made in Italy or made in France. Yeah, that is fucked up. And that is yeah, that's fucked up. That's not cool. I agree with you completely, Mark. Colin Rice said, Dolce & Gabbana looks like someone's weird Italian uncle going through a really bad midlife crisis. Okay. I would submit that also Gucci looks like that. No, Gucci's a little bit more like old lady-ish, I guess. Yeah. That is a bad scenario. Someone's weird Italian uncle going through a really bad midlife crisis. That does not sound like a situation that I would want to be in. Okay, Colin, I'll give it to you this one time. But sometime we're going to have a talk about what constitutes ugliness. And we're all going to get our minds blown by how relative everything is. CI said, I hate Virgil constantly being praised in the art, fashion, and music world, and people that know that it's wrong are still supporting him because that's what the mass thinks is amazing. You gotta explain more than that. I hate that people aren't thinking about the decisions they're making in design, like a Fendi and Fila collab. Like, what the fuck? You just saw what KJ did, and you think it's going to boost sales. Let's see. Kane, explain the Virgil thing more. You just said like it's wrong. You're gonna have to explain a little bit more about what you think about the wrong thing in order for us to chase that down. As for your other comment, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to defend. I don't really know how to defend collaboration culture right now. There are just so few collabs that I think are cool. I like Craig Green and Adidas. That's kind of making some cool stuff. But yeah, for the most part, that's not great. Anyway, please explain your Virgil thing a little bit more so we can. Oh yeah, and Mark gave me a shouts out because he was like, engage shill mode. Sub to the Patreon, people. The Discord is very good. That is true, because when you join the Patreon, the like biggest benefit that you get from this thing is that you're supporting your friend Bliss Foster, but also you get access to the Discord server, which is like fucking great. I'm so proud of this. Like, I didn't do anything other than like create a Patreon and a Discord, but like the people that are in that Discord have turned that in to such a stellar community, and I am like so proud to be a part of that community myself. A lot of people that know a lot more about fashion than I do. That really is the big like killer app of the entire thing. Oh, Franklin said, I think the fashion community needs to get better at distinguishing between what they can appreciate as good art and what fits best into their personal style. Yes, sir. I completely agree with this. So there are things that exist, believe it or not. There are things that exist. There are clothes that exist that are awesome clothes that are not right for your wardrobe, that you would never buy and you would never wear, and that if someone gave it to you for free, you might never wear. But it's awesome. It is awesome as a piece of art. If you go into a museum and you are looking around, Noah Johnson said this. He's the like style head guy at GQ. He's like, if you go into a museum and you are looking at paintings or like modern art stuff, you are not standing there and going, would this look good in my living room? My living room isn't this big. This art piece is too big for my living room. Like, what the fuck even is this? Like, nobody does that. A crazy person would do that. You are at the museum and you are looking at the art on its own terms. You are looking at what it's doing as a piece of art, and you're saying like, damn, I really like vibe with this. This is a cool piece of art. Or like, this one I really don't like. I just don't like it. That's okay. You're not making those decisions based on whether or not you want to put the article of clothing in your closet, or it's certainly not whether or not you want to pay the like retail price tag for the thing. You need to be able to look at clothing as art. And it's okay if that coat like wouldn't look good on you because like you have your torso is really long or something. Like it doesn't matter. It's art. Take it on its terms. Thank you, Franklin. That's a very good point, and I agree with you completely. Kane Ireland said, I hate that beautiful clothing probably won't sell and will most likely sit in a stock room until that store goes into liquidation and no one will ever get to enjoy that beautiful piece. I agree with that. That is sad. What's up, John Skipper? You finally made it into a live stream. Hello. Julian Tessier said, I hate when brands, I'm not going to say names, you should, who are supposed to make art with their clothes, but at the end of the day only care about money. I don't know. If that is true, if that statement is true, then I guess that's bad, but I think if you were to name names, I think it would be difficult to defend that that is distinctly what they are trying to do. That sounds like a easy to agree with thing if we don't name names, but once we do start naming names, I feel like it's sort of... So, name some names, Julian. Go live with me right now. Drop a pin, Julian. What's up, Chris Ziebert? Hey, Victor Perez. Welcome to the Patreon and welcome to the Heavenly Discord server. Thank you for setting a good example, Victor. Okay, cool, guys. Bye. No, I'm just joking. Let's smash this motherfucking record, people. Who else is joining the Patreon? Who else, to be frank, who else is going to join the incredible Discord server that everybody wants to be a part of? But Bliss, I don't even have a Discord account. We'll create one. Create a Discord account and join the Discord server. It is literally like a huge group text chat with a bunch of the coolest, most knowledgeable people that you've ever met. Everybody loves everybody. It's incredible. Somebody gave somebody a free pair of $2,000 Guidis the other day. They just sent them to him for free. Just kidding, that didn't happen. But maybe that will happen. There's a lot of really cool, probably well-off people that are really well connected that might give you a pair of Guidis. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. Join the fucking Discord. Patreon.com/BlissFoster. If that wasn't a good sales pitch, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that thing. Sorry, somebody was asking what that was right there. That is Lindsay's duct tape dress form that she made for herself. And you will all know more about that here very soon. Very soon. Probably not this week, but very, very soon. Oh, Del Plummer just said, Rick and Champion, yuck. I disagree. I like that. That's a collaboration, actually, that I like a lot. Because Rick Owens has been going in this, very, slutty athlete direction for a long time. Slutty in a good way, athlete, for a long time. I think this collaboration makes a lot of sense. I don't know. It certainly looks good on that, his little muse. Bam! What's up, Eve Hartwell? Welcome to the Discord. Welcome to the Patreon. You are a fucking G. Welcome. Hello. Dang, we're crushing it tonight, people. This is great. Everybody follow Eve's good example and smash this record even further. Patreon.com/BlissFoster. Blammo. What was I saying? Oh yeah, who's Rick's muse? The cute little Australian boy that Rick really likes, and that I have no proof of this, but I imagine that Rick is probably sleeping with. What's his name? He has is his name Diego? What's his name, guys? Tyrone. Thank you, Tyrone. Yeah, Tyrone seems to look really good in the champion stuff. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of an objectivity of I am not sexually attracted to men. Again, I kind of wish that I was. That'd be kind of cool. Being gay, as I've said before, would be cool as hell. But I'm not. That's the reality of the situation. And I'm damn, Tyrone, you look really good in those short shorts. So I feel like there's a little bit of an objective, I don't know, I'm not trying to fuck him, but damn, Tyrone. What's this man? Tyrone Dillon. That's it. Tyrone Dillon Sussman. Yeah. That man has got a very big mouth. He's got a very cute, big mouth. I'll give him that. He looks Australian. Like, just like looking at him is just kind of like, that guy looks like, I bet that guy's Australian. He's like ripped and he has long blonde hair. And like he has like just a huge mouth. I bet that man is Australian. All right. Pictures of Tyrone coming down. Where were we? Yeah, wait, okay, Gucci is great. Who is saying Gucci's not good? Gucci's fantastic. If anybody wants to fight about Alexandra McKelly, I promise you, you will lose. This is my YouTube channel, and we do not talk bad about Gucci here. Hey, Kale, and for anybody else that's like just now joining us, we're talking about what we hate most in fashion. Take some time, type out the thing that you hate most about fashion, and I will respond to that thing. Probably disagreeing because I don't like hating on things. And so I'm going to be contrarian to your hate. So, Kale, you asked a good question, but I'm not going to answer it because we're not doing question time right now. We're talking about things that we hate in fashion. Go. And also patreon.com/ChrisFoster. Looking for more hate comments right now. Oh, Kane. Is it like confirmed that like Tyrone and Rick are like boyfriend and boyfriend? Blammo! What's up, Ruben? New Patreon subscriber, Ruben. You also are a fucking G. Thank you, Ruben. Dang, guys. We're like crushing it. Let's get one more. Let's make it an even rounded 6. Patreon.com/ChrisFoster. Let's see. Looking for more hate. Oh my gosh. Franklin said, isn't Rick and Montclair collab coming? That would be another really sick one, actually. I would actually probably be pretty into that. Oh, okay, so Chris Siebert brought up a good point. I hate gender and sexuality constraining what a person can feel comfortable wearing. Obviously, there's artistic value in breaking those barriers and shocking people on runways, but in everyday life. Yeah, that does suck, like, big time. I don't really... And it, like, sucks in, like, every avenue, too. Like... Yeah. There's like just a whole litany of like judgments and like shitty things that people put on you for just a million things. Yeah, that's shitty. I agree with you on that one. Good one, Chris. I'll hate that with you. What's up, Brick Ovens? Welcome to the chat, Brick Ovens. Are you the real Brick Ovens? Chris Siebert said, it's frustrating that I and others are afraid to wear certain things because it will make people perceive us a certain way that we don't want to be perceived. Okay, Chris, I asked you this in a serious way that I really do want an answer from you. What are the perceptions that other people are going to have about you that you don't want them to have? What are those things? Because, I mean, well, no, I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm not going to elaborate right now. If you feel comfortable, please tell me, and there's no like wrong answers. What are the things that you are afraid that other people, this is where I'm going to get like general, I'm not going to start like yelling at you or anything. But like, what are the things that you are afraid that other people are going to think about you when you dress a certain way that you cannot have them think about you? If you would, please explain. All right, Chris is going to explain in pieces. He's going to explain over the course of a couple of different submissions. That's cool. Take your time, Chris. Okay, so Micah Phillips, what's up, Micah, said, I hate in the fashion community that people love to look down on others just because they may wear certain brands or don't know about certain designers instead of taking the time to educate others. Yep, I'm a big proponent of this. Gatekeeping is fucked up, and if you gatekeep, fuck you. I'm gonna gatekeep against gatekeepers. Yeah, that is the dumbest fucking thing in the entire world. Like, when people... I don't know. It is such a weak energy when people are like I saw one time a comment on like a Helmut Lang thing where like it was Helmut's actual like Instagram account, like his personal one for the man Helmut Lang. And he posted some of like the old bondage stuff that he used to make, and like he was like, I found this in storage, like old memories, haha. And like it was just like some of the like very like extremely like slutty bondage stuff that he used to design. And somebody was like, oh my gosh, someone commented on that like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that you made like skimpy bondage stuff, that's so cool. And somebody else like commented like, you clearly don't know anything about Helmut Lang. It's like, whoop-de-fucking-do, you like wow, you apparently knew about this one. Like it's stupid because like that whole way of thinking, there's no end to it. There's no, first of all, you're not getting anything from that. You just look like a dickhead. And like also like you're, I don't know. That is that's ridiculous. So yeah, if you are ever dissing somebody for not knowing something, that is insanely fucking stupid. And yeah, nobody do that in the group chat here. I will call your ass out and I will like roast you relentlessly. All right, so Chris, can you confirm that that's all you wanted to say for that, or do you have more coming? I'm gonna make sure that Chris is like done, so I'm not just reading it in pieces. Yeah, like Outtour said, I love fashion and also high fashion, and I read books and bury myself into it, but I also still buy from ASOS as they have cool things that are at an affordable price. Yeah, and I mean, I talk all the time about like how like buying secondhand designer and not chasing after like grail pieces or like super like covetable items by brands, and just by avoiding brands like Rick Owens and Craig Green, you can usually, by buying secondhand designer, you can buy incredibly nice stuff for about the same price as fast fashion stuff. But there is like a point where like if you are like, I'm in a very specific financial situation as an adult, or to be frank, like if you're just like, look bro, I'm in high school, like I honestly, like I don't have access to any kind of allowance, and I really don't have the ability to work more than like 4 hours a week, no, like probably like buying like high-end stuff just is not, it's not for you yet, and that is okay. To be honest, like we just love having more people in the community, more people to like hang out and talk about clothes, because clothes are incredibly interesting. So yeah, no hate, nothing wrong with that out to her. All right, looking for Chris to say that he's done typing. Oh, Chris said, no, I'm done. Okay, cool. So, what I originally asked Chris was, can you please describe what impressions people might have of you based on your clothes that you don't want them to have? Chris's answer is this. I think people definitely feel kind of intimidated by... Oh, okay, I got it. Cool. I think people definitely feel intimidated by the guy in a big black coat because there's a really bad connotation there, which is extraordinarily stupid, but I think that that exists. And I'd totally wear a dress or a Tom Brown skirt or whatever, but there's a perception that it's about performing gender differently when I am definitely cis and both don't want to be perceived as trans myself, and also don't want to appropriate from that community. Okay. I want to be careful about this. I don't think, if anyone is trans in the chat and feels comfortable speaking on it, could you just say, and you're not speaking for trans people in general, I just am I'm genuinely curious, does that seem like, does a cis guy that acts and is performing and completely, totally like, I'm a dude, if that person is wearing a skirt or like a dress or like puts on some eyeshadow or like is wearing like a long-haired wig or something over like hair that's like actually like this short or whatever, does that come off as appropriating your culture, or I guess like ballroom culture in general or whatever? Oh, okay. Bird girlfriend is trans, and in her opinion, I'm assuming your pronouns are she, her, because it's bird girlfriend. If you want different pronouns, please let me know. Yeah, I don't think that is appropriating in any way. I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I support your thoughts and feelings, Chris, but I don't think that really is appropriation in that way. Appropriation is a very difficult topic because, like, I mean, things like if I like grew out my hair like to be like past my shoulders and I did like cornrows, that in I think a lot of people's opinion is appropriation. So I don't know. Appropriation is something to be like aware of and to be sensitive towards and to be like thoughtful about. I don't think that one's appropriation. And to be honest with you, like I don't know, and maybe it's just because like I'm a little bit, I don't know how old you are, Chris, but I'm 30, and like I remember like thinking like, oh my gosh, it's like super crucial that like I don't come off as like gay or like whatever, like even at a time in my life when I was much younger and like had like no like problem with people who chose to be gay, like it was very important to me that I not be perceived as gay. And like, I just don't really care about that anymore. I just like, I don't care. Like if other people think like their impression of me is like that, it's like, oh my gosh, that guy is like one surgery in and is like definitely getting a sex change operation. I don't particularly care. Like if it's something that I like and it's a piece of art that I really want to wear that's important to me, I don't think I care very much. And then what was your first point? I think people definitely feel kind of intimidated. This is one I don't understand. You might have to elaborate a little bit more. I think people feel intimidated by guy in a big black coat. Like, are you, I'm not trying to be like silly or make a joke, but like, are you meaning like people feel intimidated because it's like active shooter look? Like Columbine look thing? Is that what you're referring to? I'm not sure I understand your first point. Let's see what Chris says. Okay. Chris is, I think, maybe not wanting to go into too much more detail because very, very true. He has a 200 character limit on everything, and this is like a fast-paced chat, which is making it super difficult to type. That's understandable, but yeah, good thoughts. I appreciate the longer form stuff that you did share with us. I appreciate that. All right, people, I think we're kind of bringing it to a close here. Let's see. Starting a brand. All right, Titanium Expose, you are getting banned. You are being extremely annoying. Aw, damn. How do I fucking get rid of this person? You're in timeout, Titanium Exposed. That was an actual command that I had access to. And you are in timeout now, Titanium Exposed, because you asked the same question that I did not feel like answering because it wasn't relevant to the discussion, and you asked it 20 times. So, RIP, that's right, Mark. Got him. Sniped him out of the sky. Oh, okay, so Chris was gracious enough to respond to that last comment and said, I actually think that there's a little bit of, asking him, like, what do you mean by people being intimidated by a guy in big black coat? Like, do you mean like a Columbine thing or whatever? And he said, I think there's actually intimidation that comes along with wearing stuff that's darker and more against the grain, both because of like Columbine associations or the active shooter look, and just because people are afraid of edginess. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I guess I personally don't have a whole lot of experience with this as an issue because I'm like such an outwardly friendly person because I have low self-esteem and I need lots and lots of approval and validation, even from strangers. John Mulaney has a really funny quote about that. He's like, it's like I'm running for the mayor of nothing, and it is exhausting. Or like every person I come into contact with, I'm like, do you like me? Please say yes. Let's say it together. Yes, I like you. Yes, I do like you so much, Bliss. I want to be your friend. And so like I'm just like very like hi like to everybody, and that makes it where I think I can be still wearing just like ferociously edgy, like fuck you kind of clothes, and I don't think that's really how I come off to people because I'm, you know, just teeming for their approval. Partial. Kane, we love that you have a passion for fashion too. I really wish that passion and fashion didn't rhyme. I feel like that would solve a lot of our problems in the industry if the words passion and fashion did not rhyme with each other. Okay. I think this is a good place to call it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. One more comment from Chris. And that was, I actually think that's a really real way to mitigate that kind of problem. If y'all know someone on Instagram called My Favorite Color is Black, just all written out. He wears full dark wear all the time, but he's such a friendly looking person. Yeah. That's cool. So I think we're gonna call it, because I gotta do some other stuff before I go to bed. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for the 5 real homies that joined the Patreon. And yeah, this was very successful. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone hanging out. I appreciate everyone engaging in the discussion. Thanks for keeping it real, guys. New episode on Tuesday is Alexander McQueen 10-year anniversary of him taking his life tribute video. We have a really, really cool episode for that. Doing something a little bit different. So look forward to it. It's going to be a really good episode on Tuesday. I love you all, and I mean it sincerely. Goodbye.